Shalom, this is Love Herself. This is part 3. And Love Himself, God Almighty Yahweh, goes on to say, You think that you are only who your parents named you to be. Well, let me tell you that you each had a past, a life before this one, and it was back at heaven home base. The plan for the son, whose name, by the way, is Asa, he was sent here to mend hearts and those in sorrow. And now that he's here, he does just that. Enemies who kill the sorrowful and the homeless and the lost, those enemies want to put Asa down because he's in the spotlight now more. Some wonder what his intentions are, and others don't care. They want him stopped because he's raising consciousness. He's not militant. It's not that, said the Lord God. It's just that in their new world order, they have planned they want all blacks down. And if he's telling them to get off drugs, that is sobering them up. So now they will be more conscious to see that their surroundings or environment needs improving, as well as their attitude need adjusting. In other words, he's giving people hope in an arena where there was none when he speaks positive over microphones. Illuminatis don't want that. So they dug into his background, assuming that Asa is like Cassius Clay and James Brown, encouraging people to feel like the greatest and that black is beautiful, be proud. So they're wanting to come after him and shut down his shows that he forecast, said the Lord God Yahweh. When he was younger, he did shows and Ice Cube was around and not quite known yet, but they blended into the same mix. And so him and Humpty Hump also got together to do shows to help others come up. So therefore, his UNG logo grew popular, United Nations of Gods. It meant other things as well, but me being God, I liked it especially, said the Lord Yahweh. That is unity. Uplifting, it brightens up the depressed, who think little of yourselves. All you sons of mine, said the Lord, are gods. God juniors, that is. So with that being said, I can tell you that Asa's work matches someone that enemies erased from out of my scriptures. I wrote about him, said the Lord God, and what they did is this. They looked at my story, then changed this and that, then republished it back in the 1700s when Rome was in an empire. They burned all the original copies, then sent out their own version of my stories, said the Lord God. The audacity. So I whipped tail, and Rome hasn't been the same since. They are not around as Romans today, are they? Said God Almighty. The copies of my Torah that made it into my loved one's hands on earth that the enemy had not taken, it shows Asa's name, who I wrote about, said God Almighty Yahweh. I said he was to come to earth and change things in the last days before I would evacuate planet Earth, clear it off of its people. Everyone would be transported elsewhere, some to heaven and some to my other locations. Those who wanted the love of me, their God, they would go with me, and haters would go to a terrible fate. But I check on them from time to time, said the Lord God. Now, when we landed from heaven to earth, we came by ship. I fitted off into my earth suit, and Asa he did too, said the Lord God. Now, I had already been to earth, trying it out, seeing that it was livable. After I invented it, we celebrated and tried it out. Then, as time progressed up to now, it's a long story, but I must say that we started in Ethiopia. I named it that. Then on to my next continent. After leaving my Middle East, I settled in an area I named it Bethlehem. Then later, some of my haters renamed it Oklahoma, but I made them keep it as first name. Look it up and you will see. Bethlehem, Oklahoma. Google it. I gave free will for 6,000 years, but now it's my turn since time is up. But anyway, like I was saying, we landed in Bethlehem. That's why they say that my ship, that they are calling a star, but it is not. It hovers above Bethlehem for eons. Now called Oklahoma, like I said before, but all that's going to change. Judgment Day is over. Most don't know it though, said the Lord God, God of all gods, Yahweh. Please go to part 4